5 common fat loss questions that I've heard in my career that spans over 20 years through helping thousands of people lose weight. Hi, my name's Mitch Little, and we help women worldwide lose fat the normal person way. No fad diets, no juice cleanses, no cutting carbs, just good old sensible normality. But here are 5 common fat loss questions that you yourself may have asked at some point. Question number 1, I'm in a calorie deficit, but I'm not losing weight. Why is this? Now, this is the tough part as a coach, because we know that in order for fat loss to occur, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Consume less calories than your body needs on a day-to-day basis and you're going to lose weight. Consume more calories than your body requires on a day-to-day basis, you're going to gain weight. So although your objective may be to be in a calorie deficit, if the scales aren't budging, you're not in a deficit. But it's okay, let's work this out. Ask yourself these questions and please answer them honestly. How do you know you're in a calorie deficit? Do you know how many calories you require for fat loss? Are you sticking to a calorie deficit consistently enough to warrant fat loss? Are you over-consuming snacks? Are you over-consuming liquid calories? Are you following your calorie deficit Monday through to Friday, but then come the weekend, well, the wheels completely turn off and you just go a little bit rogue? Having that self-accountability and being a little bit more stringent with your tracking is so crucial if you want to see weight loss. Quite often people will go on for weeks and weeks, months, and sometimes years assuming or believing that they're in a calorie deficit when you're just not, which can lead you to believe that there may be something wrong with you or that weight loss itself isn't even possible. Every single person on the planet has got the ability to lose weight. You just have to be in a calorie deficit for a long enough period to actually see the results. And when you see the results, well, this can become very exciting and you're more than likely to have weight loss success and even weight management success. So if you're not losing weight, you're not in a calorie deficit. I'm so bloody sorry to tell you, it's just science. Question number 2, and we hear this one a lot. Will one bad meal ruin all my progress? Well, let's think about this. Do you believe that your weight gain is the result of an occurrence that happened overnight? The answer is probably no. Weight gain itself is the accumulation over time of an overconsumption of calories. We're not gaining kilos of body fat overnight. This takes time. In fact, 1 kilo of body fat itself contains 7,700 calories. And I highly recommend that if you want to have success with weight loss and weight management, you have to understand that there's actually no such thing as a bad food, just like there's no such thing as a good food, but there are better choices. Some foods contain more calories than others. An example of this might be 170 grams worth of potato chips, which we all know is very easy to consume, contains 1,000 calories. Whereas for the same amount of calories, I could eat 2 kilos of potato. So if you make the commitment to yourself to simply make the better choice with your calories most of the time, like 90% of the time, you'll always have success with weight management. And eating out, going to functions, going to events, enjoying life is all part of a long-term strategy. And this is exactly why, in fact, our clients lose weight. How many times have you gone out, had a meal, felt guilty, and thrown in the towel completely with your weight loss journey? Follow rules and guidelines most of the time, and you'll soon come to realize that that one meal out you had on the weekend with your friend or your partner doesn't matter. Question number 3, my scale weight goes up some mornings. Why is this? Am I doing something wrong? If you can understand the concept that I'm about to teach you, your chances of losing weight and keeping it off long term are dramatically going to increase. First thing we need to understand, we're not just one big walking, talking blob of body fat, despite what you may think. And our scale weight is only naturally going to be impacted or fluctuated on a daily basis, even during a successful calorie deficit. I'm using my left hand here, so don't judge me. Let's say this red line represents the decrease of your body fat during a calorie deficit. This line itself can and should be reasonably constant, given that you're following your calorie deficit. But this line isn't going to be what you see on the scales. Your scale might look a little bit more like this. Now let me ask you a question. How many times have you seen a spike like this, freaked out, told yourself that weight loss isn't working, and stopped following your plan? If only you understood what these spikes actually meant. And again, the reason why our clients have success with weight loss is because they understand what these spikes mean. This spike here could be digestive timing. Maybe you ate a little bit later in that evening. We'll get to this spike soon. This spike over here could be hydration levels. It's not crazy to think that one morning you may be a little bit more hydrated than the previous morning. You're going to see some water weight fluctuations. This little spike over here, perhaps you had a little bit more salt in a meal, a little bit more sodium. You're going to see a spike on the scales due to some water retention. And ladies, can I please get a drum roll? This spike over here is due to hormonal fluctuations. Understanding scale fluctuations is an absolute must, and hopefully by watching this graph, you now understand what these mean. Fat loss question number 4. I want to start a weight loss journey, but I don't believe now is a good time because in 6 weeks, I've booked a trip to Bali, or in 3 weeks' time, I've got a hen's night. This mindset, in fact, is what holds so many people back from having success with weight loss, because you're just delaying the start. You assume that the runway of life should always be clear. For me to lose weight, I can never be sick, I can never have a holiday, I can't go to a function or a party or an event. Last time I checked, these were all part of life. So to have success, we have to integrate all of these things into a long-term strategy. A holiday to Bali doesn't mean you can't lose weight. A wedding in 3 weeks' time doesn't mean that you should delay your journey. You should just start, because you can have success with weight loss and weight management with all of the intricacies of life. Your weight isn't determined by one meal out, by one holiday to Bali, or by having one glass of wine with a friend on the weekend. Your weight is determined by having more knowledge, more consistency, and following a long-term strategy. Weight loss question number 5, and this is one that I've heard so often, and I hope that I can get you out of the mindset of potentially being in this category. The question is, why can't I lose weight? I've tried absolutely everything. I've tried keto, I've tried fasting, I've tried juice cleanses. None of it works. There must be something wrong with me. As I said, every single person on the planet has got the ability to lose body fat. You're not a scientific anomaly. The law of thermodynamics do still apply to you. The reason you haven't lost weight successfully is perhaps due to mindset, is perhaps due to chopping and changing from one fad diet to the next. In fact, telling yourself that you can't lose weight is going to set you up for failure from the very start. Weight loss and weight management has got nothing to do with being on a fad diet. It's got nothing to do with short periods of perfection. It's got everything to do with living a lifestyle that is based off being consistently average. We put too much pressure on ourselves to achieve greatness in one night, or it doesn't work like that. Make the commitment to yourself to turn up most days and do the work that is required to achieve a result. And this is truly where you'll set yourself up for long-term success. If you enjoyed today's video and you've taken away some tips that you think are going to help you, please feel free to share this with a friend. And alternatively, if you'd like any more information about how we can actually help you lose weight and keep it off, please follow the link below. Catch you on the next one.